Hey everyone, Mady Gomez here in cool California. I'm actually hanging out with Christine Anderson and her dog Piersic?
Piersic, yeah.
Piersic. And Piersic is actually, she's one of the stray dogs from one of the colonies out in Chernobyl. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that means? I mean,
yeah. So when the nuclear accident happened in 1986, the people who were living in the city around the nuclear site were forced to leave their pets behind, completely not by choice. And
that's a detail not a lot of people know, because when we talk about
right.
the site and obviously the nuclear explosion that happened, a lot of people think, oh, everybody took off as quick as they could, and they
right,
left their
right. And people say things like, oh, no matter what the conditions, right, I wouldn't do that. But when you're talking about like the Soviet government coming in and removing people, it's not realistic to say, oh, you would have taken your pets. They didn't have the option. People were heartbroken to leave their pets behind, as any of us, would be.
Right.
Yeah. So the dog colony formed at that, began forming at that time, and in the last couple of years, they started working on vaccinating and fixing the dogs there, and also bringing some out for adoption.
So there's been a lot of dogs that have been adopted, that have been brought over to the U.S. For adoption. She is one of them. Piersic is one of those dogs. Tell me more. When did you get her? How long have you had her?
We got her in December, so we've had her about 7 or 8 months now. And yeah, she's been a delight.
Tell me more about, what was that process like? I mean, first of all, what interested you in adopting Piersic and adopting a stray dog from this nuclear site?
So it was just getting a lot of publicity at that time, so it kept popping up, and we were ready to adopt a dog. And obviously the story is very interesting, and it's interesting to have the opportunity to interact with those organizations or be in support of them in some way, and bring awareness to the dog colony and help make sure that they get the resources that they need to continue to support that population.
There wasn't anything in particular that made you want to adopt?
There was no catalyst. There was no catalyst. No.
Perfect. And tell us about her. How old is she? What kind of, I know you said she was a shepherd mix.
She's about 14 or 15 months old. Yeah, I mean, they're considered breedless. She is, looking at her, you can, pretty much guess that she's at least part German shepherd or something like that, right? But beyond that, I plan to do a DNA test at some point.
Okay.
But according to, we don't know. She's just Piersic.
And okay, just being Piersic, by that you also mean she's so shy. Her demeanor is so calm.
Oh yeah, she's very shy. Not, a lot of people think that she's scared. She's not really scared. She's just shy, and nervous. She has some anxiety for sure, but she's not fearful.
What do you attribute that anxiety to?
Well, I mean, definitely it's to where she came from. We don't know whether that was environmental or genetic, because the dogs are likely, predisposed to display caution, as that helps them survive, in a wild dog colony under the harsh conditions that they live in there. Or whether it's because she didn't have contact with humans for the first couple months of her life. We're not sure, but it's definitely because of her background. She hasn't been abused. She's had, pretty much entirely positive experiences in her life.
What did they tell you? Like, what's her background?
Is. They didn't tell us much. I mean, I know that she came from the area, around the nuclear site. I don't know where in the exclusion zone she was found.
They didn't pinpoint exactly where they grabbed her from?
No. So for some reason, I got into my head that she was from one of the abandoned homes, but I'm not entirely sure that that's true. I don't know. I don't know exactly where she was found.
And a lot of people are going to ask, you'll probably start seeing some of the comments there here in a little bit, but a lot of people definitely are curious to know if she poses a health risk to you, to anybody who gets near her because of radiation.
Absolutely not.
You know that question is coming.
Yeah, absolutely not. So the
dogs that would come up probably later on. Later on, you guys would know.
Yeah, later on. So the dog is living in the zone. They have an average lifespan of 2 to 3 years. A 4 or 5 year old dog is considered old, right? So, so if there were to be health problems, they wouldn't have seen it in those populations because they haven't lived long enough. In reality, in a dog's lifespan, if a dog's lifespan is 15 years, it's unlikely that it would present, adverse health effects. The difference between I applied, at the end of November, and by the middle of December she was here. So very fast. So it was less than 30 days, and it was supposed to actually be even faster. She got delayed traveling over here, so it was really fast. We didn't really even have time to think about it or really make that many preparations for her arrival. We were just like, we applied and they're like, okay, you're getting a dog.
She understands the language?
Yeah, of course. I don't think that she ever spoke Ukrainian, so she definitely...
She never barked Ukrainian?
No, she's a proud American patriot.
What are some of the... Speaking about, maybe conspiracies, what are some of the things that you've heard from people, being that she comes from, this
So
area?
a lot of jokes, definitely a lot of jokes about the radioactivity, right? Like we were talking about before, about her having superpowers or... something like that.